The King's Test, Finding Happiness in Every Situation. Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom, there lived a wise and kind king named Arian. He was loved by his people because he ruled with fairness and wisdom. However, there was one thing that troubled him deeply: most of his people were unhappy despite the kingdom's wealth and security. Some complained about small misfortunes, while others envied those who had more than them. The king wondered, why are my people so unhappy when they have everything they need? To find an answer, he called upon the wisest man in the land, Guru Vedanta. The guru listened patiently and said, "Your Majesty, if you truly want to understand happiness, you must conduct a test. Select 3 people and put them through trials. Their reactions will reveal the secret of happiness." The king's test begins. King Arian agreed and carefully chose 3 men from different walks of life. 1. Rohan, a wealthy merchant who always complained about small inconveniences. 2. Devon, a poor farmer who struggled daily but never stopped working hard. 3. Suraj, a scholar who was wise but often worried about the future. The king invited them to the palace and gave each of them a bag of rice. He said, "Take this rice home, but return after a month and tell me what you did with it." The 3 men, confused by the strange request, accepted the bags and left. A month later, after a month, the 3 men returned to the palace with their answers. Rohan, the merchant, Rohan stepped forward and said, "Your Majesty, I kept the bag safely in my storeroom. It is exactly as it was when you gave it to me." The king nodded and asked, "Did it help you in any way?" Rohan hesitated and replied, "Not really. I just wanted to keep it safe, but I didn't use it for anything." The king then turned to the next man, Devon, the farmer. Devon smiled and said, "My king, I used the rice to feed my family for a few days. We were grateful, but soon it was gone, and we were back to working hard as usual." The king nodded again, then looked at the last man. Suraj, the scholar. Suraj stepped forward with a bright smile and said, "Your Majesty, I took the rice and planted it in my field. I watered it every day, and now, after a month, I have a small crop growing. Soon, I will have much more rice than I started with." The king's wisdom. King Arian turned to his people, who had gathered to hear the results of the test. He said, "Each of these men received the same thing, yet their choices made all the difference. Rohan kept what he had but gained nothing. Devon used what he had but only for temporary relief. Suraj, however, saw an opportunity and multiplied what he was given." The king continued, "Life is like this rice. If we only guard what we have, it remains the same. If we use it only for temporary joy, happiness does not last. But if we invest in what we have, even in difficult situations, we can create something better for the future." Moral of the story: happiness is not about what we have, it is about how we choose to use it. No matter what situation we are in, we can always find ways to grow, learn, and create something positive. True happiness comes from making the best of what we are given and seeing every situation as an opportunity. Happiness is not found in perfect circumstances, but in the way we respond to them. From that day on, the people of the kingdom stopped complaining about what they lacked and started making the best of what they had. And the kingdom flourished in happiness, wisdom, and prosperity.